Welcome back everybody to my channel. My name is Richard Macintyre, and this is going to be a review of 2018, the amount of videos that I've been making, and also I thought I'd just touch on a few of the other videos that others have been doing as part of the program. Just before I started, you had a marvelous view of the Decca Salon 73 machine, which I've been working on over the last 12 months, and that's really the last video about that machine you might see in terms of the restoration, because the only thing left now to do are the two doors that control the sound that comes out of the double saxophone type horn that this machine has inside its case. And you'll agree with me that it's looking really nice and sounding really good. The record I was playing on there was on the Regal label, and it was a Carol Fantasy Part 1 by Charles Renard and his orchestra, and the record number is G9417. I've had this record in my collection for some time. It belonged to my great aunt, and so at Christmas time we always used to dig it out. It's actually Part 1 and Part 2. It's almost like how many carols can you squeeze into a 10-inch shellac record at 78 RPM, and I think they did quite a good job really. It almost feels like a bit of a gallop, but it sets the scene really for anything else. So I haven't been broadcasting very recently on this channel, but the reasons are I've been just so very busy at work, and also other things that have been going on in my life. So, but I thought perhaps it would be a good idea just to look back, like a lot of my subscribers have done with their channels, and just see how much ground we've actually covered over the last 12 months. But before then, just like to say, wish everyone a very happy Christmas and a happy New Year, and wishing everyone all the very much success for 2019 and the 12 months that we've got coming up. So I've made a list of a few things, as you'd expect. So far to date, I've got over 1,000 subscribers, which is quite good actually. So if you're one of those subscribers, thank you very much for staying with me and subscribing. And also I get lots of views, not as many as I used to get with before YouTube changed some of its settings, and it might be that perhaps the content of my videos aren't as quite as interesting as they used to be, or people's tastes may be changing. I mean, for example, when I've got a list of subscribers that I watch now on the big screen downstairs in the main lounge, I sometimes decide that, well, I'm not really interested in that, so there's no point in clogging up my YouTube box, I suppose, if you can call it that, my list. So I often unsubscribe, and I expect people do that with me as well. So if you're one of those people who's come back recently, welcome back. If you're thinking of leaving, well, that's entirely your choice, and I respect that, and it's a free world out there. And but I'd hope that you would stay with me and enjoy and comment. I've had lots of very nice comments, and I do try and get round to answering all of them, but it's always not very possible, purely because with other things. So anyway, without further ado, let's have a look at some of the things that have been going on. Okay, so in 2018 I actually uploaded 14 videos, probably not as many as the year previously, but however, it's about quality not quantity quite often in these cases. The Decca 73, sorry, the machine that stands to my right, we're actually up to Part 10 now, so this will be almost like a Part 11, and the final part, apart from those doors, which I will probably just touch on in the further video, and more importantly, new projects that are coming online for 2019, which I'll just share with you shortly. I did things like the review of the Blackview Dash-cam, which was fitted to my Ford Mondeo, and then the magic electric box of that failed, and so I had to go back to Helford's, and a very kind chap called Adam fitted a new box there, which was now the Nextbase one, which is a slightly larger box, I have to say, and its design really isn't as nice as the Blackview. It doesn't fit quite so nicely on the car. However, I'm thinking of perhaps reviewing that later in the year, and see whether the magic box, the electrical bit which allows the cam to work when the car is parked, and the power down business when the battery drops, it just switches off, has been fixed, because he completely failed on me and several other people, and Helford's have actually returned several of those and complained to the company. it's about the software or the hardware that's inside the box that controls the timings for that, which let everything down. The second thing was that if you have a DAB radio, then the cabling from the front to the rear of the car became a problem. It blocked the signal, so I got intermittent DAB signal when I drove away from the garage. So, and we couldn't solve that problem, so I had to go for a single forward-facing camera as opposed to the rear-facing one that would fit on the back window, purely because the length of the vehicle is quite long, and the ones that do both, you couldn't see so well out the back window. But hey ho, we've got there, we've got dash cam. I also upgraded nipper, which is, you might be able to see him in the corner of your eye there, and the little nipper there made of steel. He's a money box officially, but I actually gave him a fresh coat of paint and also some felt base, so he sits quite nicely on the Decca salon. Okay, not the same make of machine, but hey ho, he's quite iconic in his own way. I went to the Deutsche Fest with my son James, and I showed that video, and several of you have commented about that. I broke that into two parts. That was a German car fest, and this year, 2019, with my new Fiat 124 Spider Passio, as I call her, I'm hoping to go to the Festival Italia in, I think it's May, at Brands Hatch. So looking forward to that, and also taking a friend of mine along as well. The War and Peace show, I went to the War and Peace show last year and did a video about that. The sound quality varied, unfortunately, for that, but it was a good day out and thoroughly enjoyed myself. Nice sunny weather as well. And as I say, I did a quick review of my Spider 124 Fiat, which was a car that I acquired just after the summer, ending of summer, and really enjoying that and doing lots of bits on that, and giving me great fun basically, and especially top down weather time. Even in the sometimes as the autumn was here, you could still put the top down, and I'd often drive that to the station for my trip to London when I work. So the plan for 2019, well, the plan for 2019 is that I've got a new friend that I'm taking apart at the moment, and that's the Decca Salon 103, a double horn bifold horn machine, a portable that Decca came out in about 1921, the precursor, I suppose, to the HMV 101, which was more popular, I suppose. It's slightly less in depth, but the 101 has a horn that goes round the outside of the Garrard. This one has a Garrard 12A motor, which is slightly offset, and this machine was bought new by a lady who was a musician and then lived in a loft for many years, and her son said that she dug it out just before she died to play some of her dance band music, so I'm now the proud owner of that machine. It needs a bit of work on it just to bring it up to my normal spec, but in a way it's been well cared for, and in fact somebody's been inside and replaced some of the parts in the motor, because there's some red red felt tip pen in there that looks like somebody's done it in December of 2010, so that's not that long ago in terms of gramophone years, when they consider the machine is probably nearly 100 years old now and was bought brand new. So it was the iPod of its day. Everything's there, just needs a new gasket in the sound box and a few other bits and pieces, but it's got a nickel plate motorboard similar to the 73, and looks really splendid. Weighs quite a lot actually, because it's quite a heavy machine, and did suffer a bit of woodworm damage which I've been repairing, but luckily the little blighters didn't get too far, and and you can't see the holes now, as I've managed to fill them all in. Okay, so hoping to go to the Festival Italia as well, as I mentioned, and also in Easter I'm going to the lakes on a nice trekking 4-day trek, and staying at a place called Eberdale, I think it is, in the Lake District. So 6-hour drive up there, but we're really great. Looking forward to that, and spending some time with some guys there, so it should be good. So there you are. That was a quick run through of all the videos and things that have been going on. I'm just going to turn to the computer and bring up my, where are we? So I'll bring up the screen on here. So I'm just going to take you off your perch a little bit here, and just bear with me a little bit. There we go. So there we are. Right, so these are the videos that I've uploaded this year. As you can see, quite a few there, and a few pictures of me in the process, so that was good. And then if I go to my subscriptions, which are here, So we've got several people that I've been watching here, and also you may also be subscribers of these channels as well. All I can say is that I just love watching YouTube downstairs in the main lounge, and these are some of the channels there. The ones I suppose I'd pick out would be Sideshow Tink, who isn't on here at the moment, the Eurovision, Hubnut is another one, this Hubnut here, which is a really good channel if you're looking for something unusual about cars, and several Retrola Jazz. What else we got here? Shagio 66, Car Buyer, I like watching that one. Where are we? So yes, of course, the ones you really want to show when you're doing this sort of. So there we are. So that's a quick rundown really of all the channels that I've been watching, and some of these repeat. I've got quite an eclectic taste, I suppose, when it comes to watching various things. It depends on what really takes my mood, and so everything from cars to record players to fitness to curios to even getting hairstyles right and so forth. So just an eclectic mix really. So I just thought I'd move on now and talk about one or two other things. Let me just put the camera back on the stand for you, and then we'll reconvene. So I don't have a habit of turning things off. GoPro is amazing quality camera, but sometimes it does have its little foibles. I'm trying to connect to my remote actually, but seems to be some problems with the Wi-Fi connection on that. So without further ado then, let me just close this down a little bit, just to talk about one or two things. I was going through my local charity shop the other day and came across this. So the Stylophone Latin American album, and it's got I never had a Stylophone when I was a young man, as it were, not that old now, but a younger man than I am today. But Ralph Harris, who has slightly fallen from fame since his sexual abuse case and ended up in prison, unfortunately, he was the main front of Stylophone. It was a very popular little machine, and they produced this very helpful guide along with some records that came with it. So this very helpful little bits and pieces in here about how to use your Stylophone, and you could even plug it into an amplifier and have it as part of a band. And they produced some, as I say, they produced some 45s. This is the Rolf Harris introduces the Stylophone. And in fact, I found I got 2 copies of this when I went through my 45 collection. They also produced some Latin American music. This is book 3, this one. So you can see that book 3. And in the book you had this Latin American album which came with it. So you could play along with the Stylophone, which was, you know, for the early 70s, that was quite a popular thing. I think it came out in the early 70s, if I remember rightly. So I don't think there's a date on here, but I do remember, I think there was some publications on here. 1970, there we are, it's got a date on there. So but anyway, I just thought I'd share that with you. The other thing is that last year I purchased a brand new 180 gram LP of Ella Fitzgerald's Singing Christmas. This is quite an iconic album. It's on compact disc if you're interested. This is obviously a repress that came out in 2014, but also it was produced in the 1960s. I quite like this sort of horse design on the front here. It's on the Venue album and label, and Ella wishes you a swinging Christmas. Amazing songs on here. So from Jingle Bells, Santa Claus is Coming to Town, Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas, right through to White Christmas, one of the iconic Irving Berlin numbers there, and that Bing Crosby made so popular. So this year I thought, well, I'm quite a fan of Nat King Cole. So I was looking up some Nat King Cole records and came across this one. This is Christmas Song Nat King Cole. And the beauty of this album is that actually it has this very nice red vinyl. This is also in 180 gram vinyl. If If I just take this out of the packet so you don't get a reflection on there. So look at this, it's almost a very sort of pink colour rather than red, and it's on the Dole label, and really lovely songs on here, from the Christmas song, Deck the Halls, Little Town of Bethlehem, I Saw Three Ships, Oh Holy Night, Good Rest You Merry Gentlemen. Really beautiful. I played it once the other day, so I'm looking forward to having that as in my Christmas collection. And I bought that on eBay actually, so which was about, I think it was about 14 or 15 pounds on eBay, brand new, shrink wrapped, and great to have, and great to have in the collection. So if you're looking for 2 Christmas records for next year, or just want some presents, I thoroughly recommend these 2 to you, and really, you know, it's a great addition to your music collection there. I'm going to now play an Al Bowley number. This is one I've had in my collection a while, and the first one I'm going to play is I Double Dare You. It's a foxtrot on the Decca label with Lou Stone and his band and L, and this is a fairly pristine copy. I've had this a while, and I'm going to play it on the Decca 73, and then you can see how well that's doing again after we had the carols. So I'll just put this on the turntable, and then I'll walk you through the final bits about the Decca 73. Just stay with me. So this is the Decca Salon 73, in its final guise. Okay, the only thing that's missing are the 2 front doors, which some of you probably seen me getting the new hinges for, which were quite a challenge. I've now got some I'm going to try and fit on there. It actually, in this room, as you can see, it fits. It sits alongside my HMV 101 and the Victrola VV50, which is an earlier machine than the 101, came out in about the same time as that Decca 130 did, which sits alongside the very nice Akai reel-to-reel tape recorder, which I've been playing some Christmas melodies on, and then next to my stack of Techniques amplifier, CD and cassette deck, and the Rotel record deck up the top there, which really does complement the whole thing, and a nice collection of 78s that I play almost daily when I come home from work. So this machine has really come along very well, and the features of this machine are that you get the automatic brake with this, and you get so you get an ordinary brake here, you get the speed selector here, and then you get an ordinary brake, and it's a very ingenious machine braking system. And the same is for the Decca 130. That has a braking system too, but uses a slightly different way of doing that. So for this machine, you take the tone arm, and then you start it up by putting the tone arm onto the record. But before you do that, you then two-handedly pull the brake forward, which sets the motor going, and then by the record tone arm, shall I say, going across the record, when it gets to the centre, the slight movement of the spindle lead-out track sets off the brake, which then stops the record going around. So it's a way of conserving energy, but also you don't have to worry about rushing to turn off the machine at the end of each side. So without further ado, I'm going to take the microphone off and put it onto a stand so you can get the full benefit of the record, and I'm going to put the GoPro down by the side. So this is Al Bowley singing I Double Dare You, and it's with Lou Stone and the chorus, and so enjoy, and then afterwards I will reconvene. So here we go. I'm going to lift up, I'm going to bring the brake forward, set the record going, and off we go.
double dare you to sit over here. I double dare you to lend me your ear. Take off your high hat and let's get friendly. Don't be a scarecat, say what do you care? Can't you take a dare? I double dare you to kiss me and then I double dare you to kiss me again. And if that look in your eyes means what I'm thinking of, I double dare you to fall in love with me. I double dare you. Double dare you to kiss me and then I double dare you to kiss me again. And if that look in your eyes means what I'm thinking of, I double dare you to fall in love with me. I double dare you.
There we go, that's the break kicking in, so that's really quite clever, and a really lovely rendition by Alboli there. So let me just get... So, okay, so I think that's all for this afternoon, and just like to look forward to your comments as always, and obviously the journey will continue with the fact of what we're going on for 2019. Let me just put this back over here on the perch so not to break the flow of conversation there. Oops. I've added a microphone to this, so it should improve the sound quality, particularly with the videos. So, anyway, thank you for watching, and look forward to your comments, and see you on the next one. Goodbye.